Hi, my name is Megan Buchter, and I'm the director of the Fowler Center for Business as an Agent of World Benefit at the Weatherhead School of Management at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. At the Fowler Center, our mission is to educate students about the transformative power of business to make a positive impact globally. One of our key initiatives is the AIM2Flourish program, which collaborates with professors and universities worldwide. Through this program, students interview business leaders or social entrepreneurs from companies they admire and write stories highlighting how these businesses contribute to one or more of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. These stories are published on the AIM2Flourish website, showcasing the remarkable efforts of businesses globally. Additionally, each year we award the annual Flourish Prizes, selecting one honoree for each of the 17 UN Global Goals from the stories published in the previous year, as determined by a rigorous jury process. I'm really excited today because today I'm joined with our Flourish Prize honorees for Global Goal 15, Life on Land. And I'm here today with Professor Jorge Rodriguez Rodriguez from the ESPY Graduate School of Management in Ecuador. Two of his students that wrote this wonderful story, Karen and Luis, and Carla from the company Paccari, which is a company that makes chocolate in Ecuador. And we've read a beautiful story about them and all of the wonderful things that they're doing. We're super excited to be able to share this story with you and get the chance to talk to this group and to Carla and to just share more about what this company is doing. I'm also here today with my colleague, George Dion, who helps run our AIM2Flourish program in our with our Latin American or with our Spanish-speaking communities. And so he's here today to help me with this interview. And so we're excited to have you here too today, George. Thank you. I always like to start by talking to our professors and asking them a little bit about how they've incorporated the AIM2Flourish program into their classes and some of the impacts that they've seen amongst their students. So Jorge, I'd love to start and hear from you.
Well, thank you, Megan, and thank you for the opportunity. Because we have been working with AIM2Flourish for about 5 years. The group of students, Luis and Karen, that were in our master in our MBA program, they actually were the fourth group that we've been doing this type of activities. I have to admit that at the beginning I wasn't that enthusiastic about this activity because I had the preconception that there were other activities that could produce better outcomes in terms of learning, but I was wrong. Actually, this is great. I realized that I was making a mistake of not including this before. And what made the switch or made me realize about that is that AIM2Flourish is an activity in which the students have the opportunity and the space for finding their own voice and finding the stories that make them feel passionate about sustainability and about using business as a positive force of change in what's happening in our society. And actually, this is something that maybe professors are not aware of because it's also a process of giving away the power, or let's say making the space or making a control or a better pace for the class and make it more uncertain or what's going to obtain or what's going to result after the students bring the story or find the case. And but that's something, that's the challenge. That's the let's say an investment or the price we should pay for having that, because the outcomes are worthy. And in that sense, actually these are the main two reasons that we decided to put that into the topic. The course is about ethics and business sustainability, and it is inserted as a final project that the students should upload their stories into the AIM2Flourish website. We decided to put it like a more, not so in the sense of finding an innovation or understanding the innovation, but more from the let's say the soft skill side, in which they build a narrative that actually try to persuade themselves on what other leaders are doing for changing the world. So this is the approach that we have it. And I think it's been successful in terms of persuading our students that there is a third way, or there is an alternative of how business can change the work, and actually finding business people that are doing it and trying to put their own words, use their own voices for let's say spreading the word of how these business people are changing the way of the planet, the society, and actually having an impact on the sustainable development goals.
That's really nice, Jorge. Thank you so much for sharing all of that about your class and how you used it, and then like some of the benefits of using it and the impact that you've seen on your students. So I really appreciate that perspective. And so thank you so much for sharing that. I'd love to hear a little bit from your students. Karen and Luis, if you could share just a little bit about how kind of how you approached the assignment and how you found the company, and you know how you, if you enjoyed the assignment, or just you know, the impact that the assignment had on you. And I don't know, George, if you want to translate that question so that it's clear, and you can answer in whatever language you feel comfortable.
Yeah, ¿cómo encontraron a Paccari y Carla? ¿Y cómo fue su experiencia de entrevistarla, no? ¿Y qué te dejó esta experiencia, no? ¿Va? Contesta en español o en inglés. Si quieren, traten en inglés, Karen, yo sé que quieres.
Okay, for me, it was really a really good experience. I am a loyal consumer of Paccari. I really like their chocolate. They have a lot of innovative products with cacao. For me, the commitment to using organic cacao, it's really important. Also, so here in Ecuador, it's a really important company, and they have a lot of prizes because of their business model. So they have transformed the chocolate industry. Since its foundation, the founders aim to build a sustainable and environmentally friendly company. Furthermore, they stand out for their fair treatment to cacao farmers in the country and their ongoing support for suppliers, helping them improve the knowledge through continuous training in agricultural practices. So for me, it was spectacular knowing Carla. I think she's an aspiring woman here in Ecuador.
Oh, good. Well, thank you for that, Karen. Luis.
Bueno, para mí, a ver, yo voy a hablar en español hasta para que George nos pueda acompañar traduciendo. Paccari es una empresa, Paccari es una empresa muy conocida en Ecuador. Es un emblema, un estandarte realmente para los empresarios. No solo por el éxito comercial que ha logrado, sino también por esas prácticas sostenibles que transmite a la sociedad. Y eso es algo que es muy destacable y destacable. Por ejemplo,
okay, let me just say that you're mentioning that Paccari is a highly esteemed business in Ecuador among other business people and so on. Yeah, go ahead.
Por ejemplo, no es común que una empresa prefiera pagar más justamente a un agricultor que ganar, que sea más rentable. Entonces eso es algo que te llama mucho la atención. Personas que piensan no solamente en su rentabilidad, su ingreso, sino también en las otras personas. Entonces eso es algo, por ejemplo, que nos atrajo.
What brought you, attracted you to Paccari was the commitment to the fair pay to the producers, and even you know, and not just thinking about business earnings.
Exacto. Sustainable practices for the environment, for example, fair payments to farmers, organic and artisanal chocolate, high quality standards, paper reduction, social support projects. Todas estas cosas nos llamaron la atención e hicieron que caigamos en Paccari, que dicho sea de paso es muy conocida en el medio, en nuestro país, y también a nivel mundial.
Yeah, so the sustainable practices, the paper reduction, you spoke kind of fast. I didn't catch it all, but yeah, I can see why you all love Paccari, for the way that they're treating the producers. They're really part of the of the business and doing other activities that are making the business sustainable for the climate.
Y sobre la entrevista con Carla, pues destaco su calidez, su cercanía, su transparencia, que permitió que seamos muy empáticos, que fluya mucho la conversación.
Oh, so you had a great conversation with Carla. She was very open. There was a lot of empathy, and you really enjoyed it.
¿Y qué enseñanzas me quedaron a mí personalmente? Pues que lo que puede ser bueno para una empresa también puede ser bueno para el planeta.
That's good. I love that. What's good for business can be good for the planet. In other words, not just thinking about business first. The business first.
Y otra cosa muy importante, ser siempre humildes ante las situaciones que te pone la vida. Eso también me quedó mucho de la entrevista con Carlos.
And humble in confronting the situations that come up in the journey, right?
Right.
Did I do that okay, Luis?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to get the chance to hear from both of you. I'd love to get the chance to hear from Carla next and tell us a little bit about Paccari. Obviously, those of us on the call have either read the story or written the story, but many of our viewers will have not, and maybe haven't heard of Paccari before. So can you start by telling us a little bit about your company, what inspired you in the beginning to get started, and then maybe elaborate a little on some of these amazing kind of business practices that you have, that the students have mentioned?
Yes, thank you very much. Absolutely. And it's so nice to hear Karen and Luis about what they think of Paccari. So that gives me a lot of emotions, really nice. So thank you very much. Yes, we started 22 years ago with Santiago, with my husband, and we started this company with the aim of doing something positive. Like we didn't know what was going to be, but we knew that there were no negotiables when we started our business, and it was that it has to be that it will be respectful to the earth, meaning that anything, whatever it's going to be respectful, and that we have to work also with the value chain, and then start appearing in our ideas, the cacao, because we have the best cacao in the world here in Ecuador, because we are an amazing country with a lot of microclimates. So the earth, it's very special to bring us so many beautiful products from the earth. And one of these is the cacao. So then we start to understanding that we can have a great positive impact in the value chain, because there are small scale farmers with cacao. Like they have this mega biodiversity farms or small farms that do not only have cacao plants, but also wood plants and fruit plants. So it's alive and it has equilibrium. So we decided, yes, we wanted to support this, and we started to do the cacao. And then we started to translate that cacao into chocolate. We were trying to change the structure because we were used just to export the raw beans or the cacao beans, but we decided to do also the added value here in Ecuador. Because when we do the added value here in Ecuador, we're changing the structure, because we pay very good to the farmers, and we wanted to pay good to the farmers because we want them to be value of their work. We want them to feel that being on the earth and giving us the food that we eat, it's a very precious work. And for new generations, that they can also stay at the fields and to cultivate or to have more connection with the earth. So by paying them well, they will feel this value that they have. And then transforming also the added value to the chocolate, they know where their work goes to. No, it's an end product. And also Ecuadorians feel proud about what we can do with a great perspective of doing good to the earth, doing good to the value chain, and also being a world-class chocolate. So we can do quality things, but thinking of all the value chain and being a force of good.
That's amazing. It sounds like such an amazing company, and it's also amazing to hear that you've been doing this for 22 years. Because there are so many companies now that that are just getting into these types of business practices, these types of like worrying about the climate or worrying about, social sustainability. And we're really excited that they're in that place on their journey, and that a lot of companies are starting to change. But to hear that you've been doing this for 22 years is really, really amazing that that you've been doing this for so long. So congratulations on
Yes.
that for sure.
Thank you. And with Paccari, you always think about long term. So all the decisions that we take, it's not a matter of economic decision. It's just to know what's good for us, for the whole planet, for the long run.
That's great. That's great. That's beautiful. I'm wondering if you have any maybe favorite stories of impact that you've seen, whether that's maybe with the farmers or with someone else that you've worked with, like the types of impacts that you're seeing among the people that you're working with.
Yes, and that's how nice Ecuador is, that it's a beautiful country, a small country in kilometers, but big in many other things. But it's very close to have the farmers within us. Like in 3 hours, I can be in the Amazon. In 3 hours, I could be also at the coast. So it's amazing to have this closeness to where the cacao grows, because then you can have a different type of empathy with them, because you can really understand their necessities and be connected of what they need, or you can observe being there and make some little changes to make a great impact. So for an example, like being there, we noticed that the men were bringing us the cacao because the sacks of cacao were with a lot of weight. And just by observing this, we decided, why don't we change this weight and make the women bring us the cacao? So that happened. And what the result of this was that women was taking the cash, the money for the cacao that they were bringing. And there's a lot of difference, because the women take this money to their home, and then you can see children that are better, how to say, alimentado, fed, I don't know how to say, but
That's
also,
right.
Yes, exactly, with going to school, better with the clothing and things like that. So that's a different perspective. So that's really nice. And just by being close and observing, and trying to be present on what could be a really small change, a big impact. So that's one of the things that we try to do. And we try to be very close to them, because that's the only way. Being close, be emphatic, and observe, and make these changes in a positive way.
I love that story. Thank you for sharing it. I think that demonstrates the impact of the company, but also the impact that you can have on women and their communities and their families as well. And that you wouldn't, that's something that you wouldn't notice if you weren't there, if you weren't, directly involved with the farmers and able to make that change and then see what happened. And so that's, this is almost like a global goal number 5 gender equality story as well, just by hearing that, because I think that's so impactful as well. That's great. George, I want to give you the opportunity if you have any questions that you want to ask.
Carla, what motivated you to B Corp, to become certified like B Corp? And how was that experience? Yeah.
Yes, I think it's a great experience. I think all of the companies should do that, because they have the first step is that you make an interview and know where you're at. So you know your baseline. And that's interesting, because that's a path for you to understand what would be the best way to go to be more sustainable. Because to be sustainable, it's a road. It's not, you don't do it from night to the day. It's a road that you have to go and do in it. But to have these objectives clear, that's very important. So by being a B Corp, this gives us some lights to where we still can be better, no? So it's nice to be decertified, because it helps us a lot in order to understand more ways to improve.
Okay. Thank you, Carla. Yeah.
That's great. That was a great question, George. we are very connected to the kind of the B Corporation community down in Latin America as well as here in the United States. And I'm really glad that George that you asked about that because I know I read in the story that you were a certified B Corporation.
Yeah,
and I wasn't thinking about it right now.
Yeah, we were the first company in Ecuador to be certified. We were born as a B Corp, and then years after, we get certified. So yeah.
Do you have advice for maybe other companies that are kind of thinking of going down that journey or thinking, wondering if they should?
I think absolutely they should. As I was saying, I think it's a guide to understand the road to be more sustainable and to be a big company that you can have the triple impact. So I think it's a great manual to know where you need to go from where to where. So yes, if you're even not gonna you're not gonna be certified, I think it's a great way to start to measure yourself, measure the company.
Yeah,
that's true. Companies that are maybe interested in some of these in incorporating more sustainability kind of actions can use the B impact assessment just to even kind of set a baseline for themselves. That's great advice. Yeah. So I always ask everyone this question, and this is a question not only for Carla, although maybe we'll start with Carla, or we can end with Carla if you need a few minutes to think. But I'd love to hear kind of Jorge and Luis and Karen your response to this question as well. And so this is a very appreciative inquiry style question that we like to bring into these interviews to kind of get everyone thinking and kind of and dreaming about the future. And so the question is this. Imagine that tonight you fall asleep and it just so happens to be the best sleep that you've ever had in your life because you sleep for the next 6 years. And when you wake up, it's 2030 and everything that you have dreamed right now that you've wanted to come true has come true. And so, whatever you want to see for your business or for society, or could be for yourself or your university, depending on the context and who's answering, it's come true. And so I'd love to know kind of what you see in that vision, what you've woken up to in 2030. And George, I don't know if you want to translate that question maybe so that the students have the question as well.
Yeah, Luis and Karen, que van a dormir muy rico hoy en la noche y van a despertar en 6 años. Y wow, voilà, el mundo ha cambiado y es todo lo que tú quisieras ver en el mundo, en Ecuador, en tu vida, y que nos compartan. All right. Who goes first?
Anybody that wants to.
I can go first if you want.
That would be great, Carla.
Yes, I was thinking that's a great question. I think we all need to make that question for ourselves because I think we have to visualize what we think today to be that way. So for me, I hope that I open my eyes on this 2030 and that we feel that we change to be a more conscious humans and more conscious planet. And that we open our eyes and we see that trees are okay, raining is okay, everything starts to be equilibrated, and that we are more conscious. And yes, I hope that happens. That we try to be more conscious humans and try to understand that there's no planet B, that this is our planet. We need to take care of it, and that we turn out to be more conscious. So that's my wish, that I could turn and we open our eyes and we see that the earth says thanks to us.
That was really beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, yo me imagino un mundo sin guerra, donde el más fuerte cuida del más débil, donde hay oportunidades para todos, un mundo sostenible, donde uno explote la naturaleza hasta lo que se pueda, sin perjudicar las generaciones futuras. En resumen, un mundo más justo para todos y más equilibrado para una vida mejor.
Okay, Carla, you help me out with this, and Jorge. A world without war, more sustainable, and that everybody's included, and has the opportunity to live well and to grow well. What did I miss? Carla, Jorge, or Luis? That captures it? Okay. Thank you, Luis.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, for me, yeah, basically the same thing now. We are in a world that is basically, we have to get conscious. I think it's really important in taking care of the planet, because if we don't do it, everything's going to go bad. So for me, I will wake up, and I would like to see more sustainable companies, and a lot of companies having like a business model like Paccari. I think that's a really important thing.
There you go.
Fair treatment to everybody, same possibilities for everybody, and something that I think is important also is like to, I don't know, other companies or big companies or governments to help people to have the same opportunities. I think that's important for me, because I would like to live a lot of years more, and I would like to my family, my sons, my daughters to see like a better world, and to have the same opportunity like me to live in a world without war, and with all the natural resources we have. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we really like hearing your visions. Jorge?
Yeah. So I mean, 2030. So I think it would be great that at least 50% of the corporations in our country by 2030 would have public commitments on non-financial targets or non-financial data, that actually they have not only not beyond greenwash, actually having a sound plan on how they are going to achieve environmental and social targets. Also, it would be great to have at least 500 companies that actually are committed to science-based targets, or are on the road of having a strategy and sound plan on how they're going to mitigate their emissions aligned with the 2.2 Celsius degrees scenario. And finally, something that is very specific in our country. I mean, this is something I've been telling, I don't know if Luis and Karen remember this, but something that I would really love seeing happening is that seeing an indigenous-led company in the top 500 in our country and also be certified. That would be great. So hopefully that will be something that could happen by 2030, but that will definitely be great to see in the near future.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Me too. I love that answer. Thank you. And I love doing these interviews and getting to hear, I get to hear from the students and the professor about AIM2Flourish and their experience and about the business, but I love hearing everyone's visions for, what the world looks like when they wake up, because I think often we can get, even if I had said it different, right? Like, what's your 6-year plan? Like we can get bogged down with some of the details and being able to get there. But if we just take a minute and like share a vision of like, I just wake up and like, here's what it looks like. It's really this very beautiful experience of hearing all of these different pieces, because everyone kind of cares about a different piece, or like is inspired, let's say, by a different piece of what the world could look like. But I love hearing these visions of what the world could look like in 2030, and we get to ask these questions and share them from people from all over the world when we do these interviews, and it's just really beautiful. And so I hope that this gives us a chance to collectively kind of imagine and visualize, and then and see this world that we want to have in 2030, and then we can all work towards it together. So I really appreciate you all taking the time to share your visions with me, sharing your time with me today. And, to the students, thank you for writing this beautiful story about Paccari. Before reading it, I didn't know about this company. And now I really hope that I get the chance to have some of this chocolate, not only because I'm sure it's delicious, but also because I want to contribute to, supporting your company that's helping to make the world a better place. And thank you so much to Jorge for using our AIM2Flourish program in your class and allowing your students the opportunity to do these interviews and share these stories. And to Carla, thank you for joining us today and sharing so much. It was so nice to hear from you. And I love the story about the farmers and the women. And so I really appreciate everyone's time today. And George, thank you for helping us with our program and then also for translating today. So with that, just again, thank you to everyone. Thanks for joining us. I hope that you've enjoyed our conversation and that everyone gets a chance to go and read the story and kind of help us celebrate Paccari and the students at the SV Graduate School of Management. Thank you so much to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Yes, gracias.